r/rules horror. Posted by u/impossible_leave_622. Skiing resort calls the dead for help. I finally had a week off. I've been working for 6 months at this little corner grocery store. I've been wanting to go skiing for a while now. I packed all of my heavy clothes, a few extra jackets and my skiing equipment. I checked the back seat of my truck to check if I was missing anything. As I was checking my bags, I realized I was missing my wallet. I went back inside my house to get it. I opened it and double-checked that I had all my credit cards and cash on me. It was not much, but it was enough for me to enjoy my vacation. Went back to my truck doing my 3-pocket check. Keys, phone and wallet. Yup, I am good to go. I got on the highway very quick. There was little to no traffic. It was peaceful, and I was enjoying the mountain views. After driving for about 3 hours, I realized I had to stop for gas. I saw a sign that read gas station in 5 mile. As I was driving to the gas station, my stomach started to rumble. I decided to keep all my food packed and buy something at the gas station. The gas station was basic, your usual 4 pumps and 1 employee attending to everything. Seems normal to me since it's far away from any major cities. The only thing that stood out was a brand new car outside. After inspecting the place for a bit, I relaxed and decided it was a safe place to pump gas. I grabbed my wallet, pulled some cash and headed inside the gas station. Once inside, I noticed everything was clean. The food seemed to be fresh and new. I was expecting some of it to be old and close to their expiration dates. Once I grabbed a sandwich and 2 drinks, I headed to the counter. I noticed that the employee at the counter was tall. I would say 6 feet 4 inches, maybe 5. He was around my height. I am nowhere near as built as he is. He looks like he trained to be a pro fighter. His hands stood out to me the most. Why, is he wearing red gloves? They seemed to be made out of leather, with white and bright blue markings on them. I set my sandwich and drinks on the counter and asked him, "Hey, how is it possible to maintain this gas station in such good conditions? I mean, it looks like you hardly get any customers." He grabbed the sandwich, to scan it in, and replied, "Well, you see, I did a job about a week ago that paid me really good. I used the money to restore this place and I got myself a new car." He then gestured to the car I noticed earlier. "Must have been a crazy job if it paid that well," I replied. He continued to scan the rest of the items. I was scanning the rest of the place and noticed a board made out of wood in the behind the counter. It said "List of Rules to Survive Highway 333. "What is that?" I asked, while pointing at the board. "Ah, that's my old counter. The guy that gave me the last job I mentioned, did that to my counter," he replied while me handing the bag with my stuff inside. "It will be $8.24. "What kind of job requires a list of rules that helps you survive?" I asked him, while I gave him two $20 bill from my pocket. "Can you also out 30 on pump 4? "Sure." He grabbed the cash and continued saying it was a weird job, with a lot of 3s. "I don't understand there was so many 3s, he said, confused and annoyed. "Here, your change." He stretched his arm to give me the change. "Thank you. Do you know how much more I have to drive before I get to the skiing resort? My GPS keeps messing up since I dropped my phone." I asked him. "If you keep driving up the road, it should only be about 30 more minutes. The mountain curves a few times, so be careful out there," he warned. "Thank you, don't worry, I am a good driver," I said. I then headed to the door, and as I was about to head out, the man stopped me. "Hey, if you come across a list of rules, just follow them. Your life might depend on it, and don't question it. If you need help to survive them, just come back here, I can help," he said with the creepy smile you see when someone is about to have a big jackpot. "Okay," I said, and just walked out. That unsettled me a bit, but I am still going to head over to the skiing resort. This is a much needed vacation. I pumped gas, then headed over to the resort. It was pretty normal so far. I don't know why I was given a warning. I mean, I checked in and the room I was given was pretty nice room. Comfy bed and good clean bathroom. It was getting late, so I decided to ski in the morning. I fell asleep watching Netflix on my phone. After I woke up, I grabbed all my gear and prepared myself for a fun day of skiing. Once I got to the gondola that takes me to the top of the mountain, I felt an old feeling. My flight or fight senses kicked in. This has never happened to me before. I've been skiing before. So why am I terrified about getting on this gondola? I decided to fight through my fears and get on the gondola. Once I got on it, the feeling just intensified. So I decided to do some breathing exercises and relax myself. As I started to breathe in and out in a controlled and calming manner, I noticed a large wood sign. It was hanging on the bar connecting the seat to the cable. It read: Rules to survive the skiing graveyard. Rule -1. Do your best to hang on to the gondola. You will have undead people throwing snowballs, rocks, tree branches, and other stuff at you. Their goal is to knock you off. They want to turn you. Rule -2. If you see undead people on the seat in front of you, ignore them. They will try and catch your attention, and distract you from the ones throwing stuff at you. Rule -3. Try and look back at the seat behind you periodically. If you see other people get on, it means you will have a relatively normal skiing down the mountain. Rule 3A. If you see undead creatures, it means the mountain is hungry. You will have to do your best to survive, and dash down the mountain as quickly as possible. It will be hard for you since they will be popping up from random places. Rule 3B. If you look back and you don't see any seat, it means the mountain is angry. You need to prepare yourself. At the top of the mountain they will be waiting for you. Rule -4. Regardless what mood the mountain is in, it will always use the undead to provide more. Skiing downhill you will encounter hungry, angry and very strong undead. Rule -5. If you make it down the mountain will provide a small reward. It a trap, don't take it no matter what. The reward could be anything from money, treasures, or a banquet. Good luck, thank you for coming to the resort. Once I finished reading the sign, I noticed that the gondola was moving a bit slower than its normal speed. This let me focus on my surroundings a bit more. With the sun shining bright I was able to see arms sticking out of the ground. WTF? Why are there human arms sticking out of the ground? Wait, are they moving? As they started to move, I grabbed onto the gondola with both my hands and prepared myself. After the warning at the gas station, and reading a list of weird rules, I was not going to take any chances. Not even 2 minutes in and I see people crawling around the floor of the mountain beneath me. I was trying to stay as quiet as possible since they have not noticed me yet, when all of a sudden snowball hit the bottom of my seat. I scanned the floor of the mountain in a panic trying to find the source of the hit. When I noticed one of them bending down and grabbing snow and making it a snowball, I then prepared myself and held on tight. This time I can tell he was aiming at my body. The ball was coming straight at me. I slid to the right to avoid the hit. When my eyes adjust back on the ground, I saw that he stopped making snowballs. I looked at the front seat to look out for the other rules. The people looked dead. Their torso facing forward and their face was looking at me. Their rotten, maggot-infested, undead flesh. It was interesting, they pulled out some neon lights and neon balls. They started to juggle the balls, it was entertaining. After a minute of watching the undead juggle neon balls, my seat got shaken hard. I am glad I never let go of my seat. I regained my composure and balance in a few seconds. I then realized I got distracted by the jugglers in the front. I looked down and saw that there were 2 undead grabbing a huge piece of wood. They looked like they were going to throw it at me. I kept an eye on them to see just how much damage I was going to receive. Once they launched the piece of wood and I saw it fly through the air, I knew it was going to miss. I looked back down and saw that more than a few undead have been throwing pieces of wood at me. They just have horrible aim when they work together. I almost forgot to check the back seat. There was no seat behind me. I checked the rules to find out that means, all while avoiding snowballs and the occasional rock. Rule 3B. If you look back and you don't see any seat, it means the mountain is angry. You need to prepare yourself. At the top of the mountain they will be waiting for you. As I kept dodging, and the undead jugglers kept trying to catch my attention, I realized I was about to make it to the top. What did the rule meant when it said at the top of the mountain they will be waiting for you? Oh no! Once I got my eyes on the top, I saw just what it meant. There were about 7 or maybe 8 undead. They were walking around, I could not tell. I decided to fight through it. I kept an eye on the ground and was ready to jump out early to avoid the group on top. Once I saw it was safe for me to jump down, I did. As I was falling a snowball hit me dead center in my chest. This knocked the wind out of me. I couldn't give in to the pain. I needed to land and make sure I made it out of this alive. After landing safely, and trying to keep my sense together, I managed to pick up speed going down the mountain. I can only imagine that all the undead that have been throwing things at me are going to be blocking my path. I decided to zigzag between the trees. This was a mistake as one of the undead stood next to a tree. As he took a swing at me I bent down to dodge it. I decided to stop my attempt of zigzagging and just rush to the bottom of the mountain. As I picked up speed I noticed that there were trees falling. The undead are breaking them to block my path. I saw a tree falling. I could tell that I was going to fall left. I went right and go around the stump portion. As I was passing the stump portion, I saw the undead that broke it down. I could tell it was angry I was getting away from it. It took a few more dodges and some quick reflexes to make it to the bottom. Once I made it to the resort's endpoint, the undead stopped their attempt to get me. I then checked myself to make sure I had no injuries. The only pain I felt was the one on my chest from the snowball earlier. As I started to walk back to the resort, I noticed a small shed-like room. It had the door open, and the leeware on. As I walked by, I see 4 briefcases opened. They contain money. Lots and lots of money. I couldn't believe just how much. It could have been $2 or $3 million. There was a small sign that read, "Congratulations on surviving the mountain, this is your reward." No, I can't take it. This could be a trap. It must be a trap. I started to remember the rules to see if this was a trap of some sorts. Then it clicked. Rule -5. If you make it down the mountain will provide a small reward. It a trap, don't take it no matter what. The reward could be anything from money, treasures, or a banquet. I left it alone, and started to walk back to the resort. After a couple of steps, I heard a loud door slam, followed by a yelling that sounded angry. I turned to find the source, but couldn't find anything. The shed was also gone. I decided to book it out of here. I went to my room and grabbed all my stuff and ran out of here in less than 5 minutes. I hit the road back and decided to never come back to this resort.